Welcome to another edition of Camp Dolphins All Access. You probably can't tell from the cloud coverage right now, but this was definitely the hottest day of training camp. I feel like we said it a lot, Bo. But we did see tempers heat up on the field. Falcons, Dolphins, first joint practice, and as expected, things did bubble up.
Well, you know, it's always going to happen when a new team comes into town. They started in the middle saying, hey, let's keep this thing cool, and then it escalated. You had Chop Robinson getting in there,
right in the middle.
Bonner getting in there. And I tell you what, it was pretty heated there. Kind of broke off into two little groups. One started fighting over here. One thing I noticed, Tyreek Hill was on the offensive side. He ran right over and got himself into the middle. So they're paying him a lot of money. Might as well go in and throw a few punches in there. But look, I think that's good for these teams. It's good for both teams. Gets them in that really competitive mode and elevates their play. And look, it's gonna happen all around the country when these teams are doing these joint practices. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more in the next two that we get over the next couple of weeks.
Don't want to forget Teron Armstead. Teron Armstead's doing work over here. He ran over there, and it's interesting how the vets handle this. You'll see some vets like, hey, take the young guys out, stop doing this. And then talking to Durham Smythe, he goes, I see fights as an opportunity. Take my helmet off, put my knee down, and catch my breath out here.
Well, the other thing I noticed is the veterans kind of go over there. They see what's going on. And then they find a friend of theirs that's on the other team, and they start, hey, how was your off season?
How's the family?
Well, the stuff's going on in the back, but it's all good, good stuff.
And here comes the rain right now as we're doing this. Tua made it rain out here. We saw him bombs away to Tyreek Hill. I think fans are going to love to see that. I'm sure it's already on social media.
Well, but look, he also had a few passes there that looked a little questionable. The defense got their hands on the ball, still working on things. But this is really the first time it's been an intense practice against another team, and so you got to take that. But I tell you what, he dropped the ball in a bucket, and that was a beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Fans went crazy, and I think we're going to see a lot of that this season. But I think this offense is going to be a little bit less of that and more of moving the ball down the field in a fundamental way. But we're still going to see a lot of that, a lot of those fireworks during the course of the season.
No doubt, be methodical. It's actually 2 days in a row we've seen those two hook up like that. All right, the other interesting thing out here was special teams. We obviously know the new kickoff rules, but Bo, a lot of interesting sights out there for who the Dolphins are throwing out as blockers. What did you see?
Well, so it was two different teams. You know, when the Falcons were on defense, when they were returning the ball, they had all little guys in there, defensive backs, small linebackers. And then you look at the Dolphins when they did split backs at the goal line.
Right.
Dolphins get in there and they got a big guard in the middle. They got two tackles at the ends, and the Falcons had little guys, and they kind of ran around those guys. So I think for Danny Crossman, and really every special teams coordinator in this league, this week when all the teams are playing preseason games, you can bet the day after that, all those coordinators are going to be in there looking at what the other teams are doing and what's working, because this is a brand new thing for them. You only have guys 5 yards apart. They can't block. They can't move until the ball's snapped or hits the ground. And so it's difficult to you can conjure it up on paper, but once you start seeing it here, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But it's unique, and we'll see what happens.
Seeing your starting center, Aaron Brewer, out there. Kendall Lamb was out there. They're definitely having some fun with it.
Well, they look more like turnstiles because you get those little defensive backs that juke them, and then hey.
I'm not usually covering someone this fast. That's probably what they're saying. But it will be fun. We'll see it on full display on that stadium on Friday night, that first preseason game bearing down on us. We will have one more joint practice before that happens. But, Bo, let's get out of the rain. That'll do it for Camp Dolphins All Access.
Is it raining?
We'll see you next time. I can't get wet.
Oh.
The hair.
Oh, there you go.
Goodbye.